Hi guys, and welcome back. Today I will be doing a new what if about one of my favourite characters. Someone I believe that was slept on a lot past the Android saga, and someone I believe was Goku's best rival. And I know that's a pretty big statement to make, but I truly believe Piccolo is Goku's greatest rival. It's something that I deeply miss, as they are still rivals, but they are no longer in the same ballpark whatsoever. Goku is now a god and is mastering UI, whereas Piccolo hasn't really had much going on for him. So I want to do something where I believe I can hopefully keep this rivalry fueled and let it go on for the rest of the story. After all, I believe the two's similar stories are actually pretty interesting. The fact that Piccolo was also an alien from a different planet who was destined to try and destroy the world was a really fun, unique dynamic between the two. So I'm hoping that these two will keep this rivalry going throughout this what if. Now, the change I would make would happen just before Goku leaves to train under King Kai. But he asks a question in this timeline, just before. He asks Kami and Yama, would it be possible for Piccolo to come with me to train under this King Kai guy? With this shocking the pair, with Goku going on to say, I think having Piccolo with me will be a good way to motivate me. Plus, I can keep an eye on him so he doesn't hurt anyone or anything on Earth. This does make sense to Kami. After all, he has got a decent point. However, he hates the idea of letting Piccolo train under someone who could make him a lot stronger. But Goku once again speaks up saying, I think Piccolo has good in him, but he hides it behind this rough exterior. I think I can bring it out of him, so trust me here. It will be another really strong fighter for Earth to help in the battle against the Saiyans. This causes Kami to think for a while Yama has no objections, as Piccolo Jr. hasn't sinned and only really ever done one thing, but then helped save the Earth, so he sort of evened out the playing field. It really comes down to Kami, with the God of Earth sighing, realizing that Goku is correct, knowing that having Piccolo train with Goku, it would bring out the best of Goku and hopefully fix Piccolo. With him telling the Saiyan to wait there, Kami teleports to the Earth and contacts Piccolo telepathically, asking him to come to the lookout, saying they need to talk. Piccolo, having taken Gohan like normal, doesn't really care what Kami has to say. However, once the deity brings up the idea of training under someone much stronger than himself and someone that Goku is going to train under, Piccolo is interested, and he is annoyed by this, but he spends a few minutes thinking about it, and soon comes to the conclusion that training under someone who is above Kami is one going to be the best way that he can ever overtake Goku and then take over the world, and two, the best way he can stop the Saiyans from taking over his planet. So, after a little bit of contemplating, he heads up to the lookout with him still carrying Gohan. He arrives, and Kami is a little annoyed that Piccolo had showed up, but also kind of happy. Kami goes on to say something, however, Piccolo brings up the idea that he is no hero. He doesn't care what anyone thinks. He's only doing this so he can overtake Goku and also defeat the Saiyans. With him then throwing Gohan towards Popo, saying, that boy has a lot of potential in him. Train him up. He could be a great asset in the battle. With Popo shocked, he says nothing, with Kami grabbing Piccolo and teleporting him to Otherworld. Goku gets excited to see the demon. Piccolo is already annoyed that he's going to have to spend time around Goku. And once hearing that he has to run Snake Way, which will take a long time, he slightly regrets his decision. But once the two start running Snake Way, it soon turns into a race. They rush down the snake at breakneck speeds. This leads to the pair making good time. And unlike what Goku did in canon, they don't fall off Snake Way, or do they stop at Snake's palace. The pair just continuously race one another. Piccolo, of course, being alive, does get tired every now and again, but after a short break with Goku respectfully waiting, they get back to running. Now, thanks to the fact they don't stop and they're rushing very fast, they do make good time, and manage to cut down a little bit. With it taking Goku and canon under 6 months, it takes Goku and Piccolo 5 months, meaning they saved a bit of time here. Now, during this trip, Goku would try to get to know Piccolo more, with not much luck happening. However, the Saiyan is starting to chip away at his armor, so he's hoping that the time spent on King Kai's planet will do it. Now, once arriving at King Kai's place, the pair soon have to start their training to get used to the gravity. Goku gets accustomed to it a lot easier than Piccolo does. So his Saiyan DNA and race, meaning that he's kind of used to this sort of stuff, he adjusts to it much easier. This annoys Piccolo a lot, so he begins to push himself hard, with him getting the grips of this gravity thing a while after Goku. With the pair getting round to training to get Bubbles and hit Gregory, Piccolo gets Bubbles first thanks to his stretchy arms, which causes Piccolo to taunt Goku by saying, I guess being a Saiyan puts you at a disadvantage here, Goku. With this pushing Goku to get Bubbles a bit faster, with the likes of Goku being the one who hits Gregory first, giving Goku his own chance to taunt. I guess I overtook you again, Piccolo. With this starting a fire in Piccolo's body as he gets more determined to hit Dumbog, with him managing to do so only a few days afterwards. This leads to the pair getting taught the Kaioken. However, Goku is the only one who is taught the Spirit Bomb. Now, Goku and Piccolo also spent a lot of time sparring here, with this helping mold the rivalry of Goku and Piccolo. The pair start to become friends to some level, this being thanks to Goku spending a lot more time around the Namekian, which would also be something Piccolo now knew about himself, since he would be around King Kai and the Kai would tell Piccolo of his origin. With this mildly freaking Piccolo out, but Goku manages to connect with Piccolo over this. They're both aliens who are not from Earth, but have made it their home, and they're now defending it. Piccolo says how he's only defending the Earth so he can overtake it later, with Goku saying, I'll be honest with you, Piccolo, I don't believe you would. Piccolo's shocked. Goku goes on to say, You're nothing like your father. You have this sense of good in you, regardless of if you try to bury it. I have seen it over the last few months. I hope we can become great training partners, and hopefully, good friends. Piccolo's even more shocked as he screams out, I don't know who you think I am, but I'm the son of the Demon King. Goku retorts, But you're not a demon, or your father. You're Piccolo, someone who can build your own path and mold your own future. You don't have to follow those who came before you. This sits with Piccolo a little bit. He knew he was free to make his own choices, but something about hearing it is very different from knowing it. He understands that he can make his own choices, but he always thought his desire was to take over the earth. But he realizes that might be his father's wishes and will, and in fact, he can do whatever he wants. This causes a lot of internal conflict for Piccolo, who for now brushes what Goku says to the side, saying how they should get back to their training. But he often sits and thinks about what Goku says. Now, their training as a whole is a huge success, as Goku and Piccolo are both motivated against one another. It leads to them growing super fast and a lot stronger than in canon. As for power levels, I will leave that for a later part, but by the time their training ends, Goku and Piccolo have both got use of the Kaioken, and Goku has the Spirit Bomb. Now, before getting to the battle with the Saiyans, let's cover Gohan's story, as it's massively different, you see. Hours after Piccolo had left for Otherworld, Gohan wakes up at the lookout. I'm shocked to see Kami and Popo, however the two are much kinder than Piccolo and help comfort the boy, explaining how his mother's and his father's friends are on the way, so he should just make himself comfortable, with Popo even offering to get the boy some food or even a drink. With time passing, Chi-Chi soon shows up with the other Z fighters. Chi-Chi rushes over to the child, with them hugging for a bit, before the news of Goku's death and the Saiyan's arrival being shared with the rest of the team. This freaks everyone out, as Kami then offers to train them up. This calms them down a little bit, but Kami then looks over to Chi-Chi and says he knows how she doesn't want her son to train and be a fighter. However, he has so much potential that he could be a great defender of Earth one day. Chi-Chi at first is against the idea, saying how she doesn't want Gohan anywhere near this dangerous battle. However, Kami explains that he has no plan to send Gohan into battle, but just to have him as an absolute last resort. He can teach him things about the world while he's here, train him into a martial artist, and if the boy wants to stop, it's of his own choice. Kami will let the boy do what he wants. Chi-Chi not wanting to turn down free lessons from a god does agree, however she says that if Gohan is hurt, she will put the god through hell. Kami, knowing the woman to tell the truth, does shake his head very nervously, with Chi-Chi then turning towards Gohan, asking the boy if he wants to learn to fight. At first he seems a bit reluctant, however a smile from Kami, Popo, Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, and even Chi-Chi calms the boy down, as he says he will try it out. This is a bit upsetting to Chi-Chi, however she's glad that he made this decision on his own. She says how she'll pop up to see him as much as she can, before leaving with Bulma. Now, with this done, Gohan gets put through a much better training schedule than in canon. He gets eased into it a lot better, while slowly being shown the wonders of the world and taught a lot through Kami and Popo. However, the person who teaches him the most about martial arts is Krillin. The martial artist stood up to the plate. After all, he's the one who knows the turtle style the best and could teach Gohan what his father knows, which makes Gohan much more comfortable fighting. So Krillin takes up the mentor role for Gohan. And thanks to Krillin being able to show Gohan how to fight like his father and also share some fun stories from the past, it leads to these two growing pretty close. With the group passing their training with Kami, they split off to train elsewhere. However, Krillin asks Gohan if he would like to keep up his training. Gohan says yes, his much better time training in this timeline has led to him being much more endeared to it, meaning that Krillin would visit Gohan at his home to train the young boy every now and again. At first, Chi-Chi did not like this, but she can't help enjoy herself seeing how much Gohan is like Goku when he trains. Now, the day of the Saiyan attack comes round, but Goku and Piccolo aren't back yet, so the Earthlings will have to hold off the Saiyans on their own. But this is where I'll leave this part. I've done this what if for a few reasons. One is, and I've covered all of it pretty much at the start. I love Piccolo, I love the rivalry, and I love the dynamic that they were both really made to destroy this planet and became defenders of it. Of course, Piccolo probably has a very different change in heart here, thanks to Goku being an adult and not having that full childlike innocence. Even though he is very childish and has a lot of innocence about him, he's also a very mature person when needs to be, and this would probably be best for Piccolo. As for Gohan, he's been eased into fighting in a much better way, and with his mentor being Krillin, he would be much more familiar with all the turtle style way, making sure that he enjoys life, meaning he learns to move well, learn well, eat well, rest well. The eternal way of the turtle school training, which is why Krillin would probably make a better master for Gohan, because he would encourage him to keep pushing in every direction, trying to show him a much more balanced lifestyle. And I love the Piccolo Gohan dynamic, I just think it would make more sense for someone like Roshi, Goku, or even Krillin to teach him, as it would lead to him learning the balance. But as for this part, please, if you like it, give it a thumbs up, leave a like, leave a comment, because I'm going to start basing, if I continue stories, whether they do well. But as for this is where I'm ending it. I hope everyone enjoys, and I'll see you all next time.